Hey there, and welcome again to our channel. I am His Majesty, McCray, and my husband Joseph is upstairs right now, and I'm in the McCray kitchen, and welcome to our channel once again. Wow. Before we start, make sure that you like this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell so you'll get notifications every time we post new content. Okay? With that being said, let's get into what we're going to get into. Now, as I'm down here cooking dinner for my husband, I came across something that really, makes a whole lot of sense. And it pertains to me as an individual. And it also pertains to two of my videos titled I Erased My Entire Blood Family from My Life. And I want to read to you this quote that I found. It says, "The moment you put a stop to people taking advantage of you and disrespecting you is when they define you as difficult, selfish, and crazy." And it ends with "manipulators hate boundaries." Okay, I'm gonna read that to y'all one more time. The moment that you put a stop to people taking advantage of you and disrespecting you is when they define you as difficult, selfish, crazy. Manipulators hate boundaries. I can truly relate to that quote simply because that's what I'm experiencing now. As a result of me erasing my family from my existence, I'm deemed as the difficult one. I'm deemed as the crazy one. I'm deemed as the selfish one. You know, for those of you that did not see my story time about why I no longer speak to my two siblings and my mother, just to give you a little recap, several weeks ago, I sent a letter to my mother. It was a private letter. It wasn't an email. It wasn't. I wanted it to be for her eyes only. And in this letter, I talked about a host of different things. I talked about some of the things that I felt that she did wrong to me when I was a child. I talked about some of the lies that I felt that she continues to tell about me as an adult. And when I wrote this letter, I knew that it was going to I knew what it was going to do to her. It wasn't my intention to hurt her. It was my intention to get her to acknowledge the things that she had done to me as a child and in my adult life. But that backfired on me. What ended up happening was, upon my mother reading the letter, she showed it to my younger sister. Now, in order for you to understand, I have to explain to you about my mom and my younger sister. My mom and my younger sister are very, very close. I would say that my mom has always treated my younger sister better than she has treated me or my older sister. She was, the sibling that could never do anything wrong. She was the sibling that my mother was very, very protective of. And, a lot of mothers they hate to admit that, but a lot of mothers, especially black mothers, have that one child that's their favorite. And they call that child their baby. One moment, guys. They call that child their baby, My sister had one, my older sister. She had a son that she called, that was, he was that child that, he can get away with just about anything. And there would be no recourse. And that's how my younger sister is. And so she showed this letter to my younger sister. And upon her showing the letter to my younger sister sent me a text, a very disrespectful and threatening text, telling me that I am to never speak to my mother again. I am to leave her alone. What I did, the letter that I sent was very disrespectful. And, you know, she just told me how she felt about the letter that I had sent, which caused her and I to have a falling out. Because when I tell you she was very disrespectful, she was very disrespectful in this letter. She called me some things that nobody should be called. She said some things about me that nobody should say about another person. And this is my sister. This is supposed to be my blood. So at that point in time, I made a decision that that was it for me. That was the nail in the coffin. That was the catalyst to me not having a relationship with my mother, not having a relationship with my sister. I had already had a falling out with my older sister, so her and I haven't been speaking. But to be honest, my older sister is, if I were to salvage one of the relationships, it would only be my older sister. I have no words, absolutely no words to say to my mother. I have absolutely no words to say to my sister. And don't get me wrong, I don't want people to think that I'm this mean and hateful person, because I'm not. I love my mother. I love my sister, but I don't want them to be a part of my life. I don't want them to be a part of my life, because I felt, and this is the reason why. Because of the things that I put in the letter, they meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to me for me and my mother to have a conversation about it, but we never got an opportunity to have a conversation about it. My sister, I love my sister, but I will not tolerate disrespect anymore. There are some other things which I will not go into that made me make the decision to not speak to them any longer. I'm just at a point in my life where I feel like, why should I continue to love people to love people unconditionally, love people that are supposed to be my family unconditionally, and that love is not reciprocated back to me. The love that they have for me is with conditions. I'm not doing it anymore. It's not that I can't, because I can. Anybody can. Anybody can have tolerance for being disrespected, being disregarded, being loved with conditions. I love you, but I will not. And for that reason, I had to let my mother and my sisters go. I'm a strong believer in you get what you give in this world. And if you give love, unconditional love, that should be reciprocated back to you. If you give loyalty, that should be reciprocated back to you. Whatever you give should be reciprocated back to you. If you give good, then good will come back on you. If you give bad, if you give selfishness, then that's what's going to come back on you. But now I've been deemed the crazy one in the family. I never played the mental card. I do have bipolar disorder, but I never play the mental card. My bipolar is what it is. I manage it the best way I can. I see a therapist, and I tell people this all the time. If you go back on one of my story times about my mental health, I tell people my therapist gives me the tools to deal with me. And that's exactly what I try to do every day. but I'm not crazy. Crazy is somebody that belongs in an institution under 24-hour care. I don't require that at all. As you can see, I'm not this crazy, deranged person that my family has deemed me to be. And now I have other family members that have taken sides. I have some family members that have become my ally. Some of my nieces and nephews, I have a whole lot of nieces and nephews. I have about 15 nieces and nephews and great nieces and nephews. And some of them are not speaking to me. Well, actually, out of all of those nieces and nephews, the only ones that are speaking to me are 2. And that's it. But it is what it is. I made the decision to do what I did, and this is the result of it. But I don't want you guys to think that I'm not in a good place, because I am. I'm in a very good place. I have a husband that loves me and cares about me, and he takes care of me just like I take care of him. And I have my relationship, my personal relationship with God, and that's good enough for me. One moment, please. That's good enough for me. My relationship with God and my spirituality is good enough for me. Do I miss my mother? Do I miss my sister? No. I don't miss toxicity. I don't. And when I made this decision, my husband said to me, he said, be sure that you're making the right decision. Make sure that this is what you really, really want. And when I thought about it, it was what I really, really wanted. In the grand scheme of things, do I wish things were different? Oh, hell yeah, I do. I wish things were different. I just realized that I'm never going to get what I require of them. They're never going to give me the love that I reciprocate back to them. I'm not expecting anyone to love me the way I want to be loved. All I'm asking is to give the same thing back to me that I give to you. And if you cannot do that, then there's no sense in us being in each other's lives. With that being said, I'm going to sign off. Please leave all your questions and your comments in the comment section. And also, if you have any other questions or comments, please feel free to write to us at TheMKingzCorner@gmail.com. Remember, we're on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and here on YouTube under the TheMKingz name. We also do have a podcast, so check us out. I'm going to sign off now. Remember to walk in peace, love, and happiness. And remember, it's Team McCray all damn day.